These are events in the world that define logic, explanation, incidents that I would believe that happen. Sometimes it seems like surveillance cameras are everywhere. They're out in the last word in criminal cases, and they can help protect the innocent. These are thousands and thousands of hours of video recorded daily of some of the most crazy and unique events, often sometimes resulting in people and animals being caught on camera doing something crazy. Today we're going to be looking at Top 10 weird things caught on security camera and CCTV. 10, we have the old woman knocked out. In this clip of CST, Henson internet has been rewarded for her bravery after she tackled a drugged-up robber in her shop in February 2020. The 82-year-old woman, who learned that Jim Che Newswagton in Staffordshire has been rewarded £250 from the High Sheriff from her courage in fighting off in Mount Ford. She was warned in a sleeping bag when she walked to the court at 6:25 a.m. and demanded cash, but Ray Henson told him that he was not having any before hitting him with a metal gun. That the 20-year-old Robert, who needed cash to repay a drug debt, pushed her to the floor for making off with about £50 of the till and some cigarettes. He was badly shaken following the London ambulance was a cold. She sustained burning to her left cheek. She had run the shop for more than 40 years and never had any trouble, but this now considering selling a judge had also sentenced charges jailing amount for it. On number 9, we have Valentine's Day booms. On Valentine's Day in 2016, on that day, that shocked Bangkok just before 6:30 a.m. A container ship named Zita Boom comes to pass by slowly devouring anything it touches. Milton Eber was immediately undertaken to repair the area of the crash, left a quite destructive aftermath in its wake, but it also left us with this unbelievable video footage. Number 8, we have instant camera caught on CCTV. In this clip, a vandal was smacked in the face by rebounding brake after he held it is a car window. This CCTV footage taken on the morning shows a hooded figure approach the people, shaggy from behind, before picking up nearly brick outside the property. In Durham, as the house is at the window at the Ronald Kendra, the brick bounces back and strikes him in the face, causing him to recoil back, touching his hands into his nose and mouth, punching over in pain. The hooded man was then arrested. A recent at the property, Mr. Craig said, "This ninth person decided that he would break into my car after many failed attempts. Comet came to bit him in the face. His vehicle sustained scratches to the glass and paintwork, while in attendance, police officer Steve reports of an incident of criminal damage in the same street." On number 7, we have Supernatural Cat. This dedicated worker in Noble Ally works as unloading a pallet of empty cage in the back of the truck when one begins to wobble. That is when he awakens entering the dark. Does something almost unthinkable as one of the kids goes plummeting towards the ground. His hand you got to prove the cat with a soft and graceful landing. On number 6, we have Bungle and driver receives a car. In this clip, a driver somewhere in Sevastopol crime has found it a little difficult to bring themselves to leave the parking in Ukraine. On October 27, 2019, the footage caught on CCTV, the driver approaches the barrier with very little effort. Rolling down the windows, they manage to return that ticket before the car seems to jump back, slightly unevenly, just a little too quick on the clutch. The car then rolls forward just fine under the barrier, as you might expect, and up the exit ramp. The car suddenly shifts into reverse and slides down the ramp into the barrier. The red and white plastic bin across the raking along its side, paneling just before entering the driver's window. The driver attempts to drive ahead, but ends up sending the barrier crashing through the rear windscreen. the curved plastic holes tied to the input of the car refusing to budge properly as the driver attacks his new passenger. He drives away carrying the plastic, pulled off to distant destinations. On number 5, we have severe explosions. Caught on camera CCTV outline, China has escaped in serious injury after being blown into the air and sunk 360 degrees by the force of an explosion soda. The blast took place after the child threw a little match into the machine, lingering, trapped meeting the boy who remains undefined. Didn't suffer any serious injury. The accident occurred on November 2019. A perfection-leveled city in the northern China. The civilians' footage released by the local group's news shows the boy walking towards the main hall with a playmate and then shows him crouching down and sticking objects into the metal cover. But as soon as he stands upright, he has launched into the air by the force of an explosion under his feet. The blast is so powerful the boy is propelled to spin 360 degrees in mid-air and then lands on the ground, hunt the cliff, then captures the boy struggling to stand up. He is seen impaling for a few steps before having to sit down by the pavement to rest forever. He eventually walks away from the scene by himself, but thankfully, in the end, everything was fine. On number 4, we have tumbling toddler. 7 postal workers in Maine, high country China, were taking a coffee break when suddenly noticed a baby on the 5th floor of a nearby apartment building dangling partially from a window. The little girl's mother and father allocated sleeping while they went to a nearby drugstore to get her medication. While they were gone, she woke up and went looking for her parents. Unfortunately, she soon found herself dangling personally from the window. This is when the postal workers got into position. Second later, the younger one plunging towards the ground, but thankfully the workers were there to break her fall. Thanks to the quick thinking of these men, the young girls walked away with just a small cut on her face and recovered quickly. Meanwhile, her parents have vowed never to leave their little girl unattended again. This is a particularly smart decision as they may have very well lost her daughter and never for her actions of the nearby postal workers. On number 3, we have burglary gone wrong. This is a moment on burgling thieves tried to flee a jewelry shop with the gold chain only to be foiled and locked. All the CCTV captured the moment when a man walked in the store in Thailand. Ash Jato. Try on the gold necklace worth 500 pounds. The thief put the chain around his neck and spent a few moments pretending to admire before suddenly turning his heels and sprinting towards the exit. But the hapless crook escaped and was spoiled off to be in a Jerry 41 locked the door. When he became superstitious, he was forced to trek back to the counter and hand back the necklace before waiting for police to arrive. He admitted attempt thief and was remained in custody. Police officers have gathered all of the evidence for prosecution, and the subject will be sent to court to receive his punishment. On number 2, we have unwelcome roommate. Joe and his girlfriend were a fun-loving young couple who had a penchant for playing practical jokes on one another. So one day when we started miserably watching Joe's girlfriend, she was behind it, but she warmed up and down. That she didn't steer Daniel wasn't too usual considering the two of them often pulled pranks on one another. Determined the catcher in the act that we picked up a cheap camera installer in the hidden location. What he captured was way more than expected. At the beginning of the video, we see John turning it on and walking away for several hours. Nothing noteworthy happens, but in the middle of the night, an adult woman can be seen dressing from a crawl space in the ceiling and making herself right at home. She drinks you straight of a jug. in his fridge unit. In his SD stilled some food and then relaxed in the living room. Joe and his girlfriend was sleeping in the very next room. At the point of the video, Joe even got up to grab a drink in the kitchen, and the woman is forced to scramble and hide. After Joe returns to bed, she makes our careful return back into the ceiling. The following day, when he's on the consent of the video, Joe fled his apartment and phoned the police, who arrived a short time later and arrested the woman after a lengthy search. Before we continue further, be sure to subscribe to our channel if you didn't until now and ring the bell to get notified for our latest video. If you like the videos, please smash the like button. On number 1, we have Lady on Subway. This footage captured by a CCTV in the subway shows a lady who could have been a model looking at the video. Many could believe that the issue that was going on in the subway. The way she walked, looking directly at the camera, the poses she flustered with us bring perfume as if in a shot for a perfume ad, and the way she did it does not care about the people who are throwing fused gazes into.